And we back, baby. Super Bowl 54. Quite a game. Quite a game, to be honest with you. I personally enjoyed it. To be honest, I thought it would be a good game. It was really slow at times, but I think it really picked up at the end of the game. And excitement is the biggest thing you want from the Super Bowl. You know, even from a fan's perspective of someone who doesn't truly watch football. Super Bowl LIV was great. Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers 31-20 behind a big comeback at the end of the game. A nice little rally led by Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes, who is now 24 years old, has an MVP, a Super Bowl MVP, and a Super Bowl championship. And I'm sitting here doing nothing. Mahomes really played badly throughout the first three quarters. It felt like the Niners were really on top of everything for pretty much the majority of the game. They started to open up holes in the run game. It's another thing I'll get to later. But it seemed like Mahomes was kind of thrown out of his element a little bit. A lot of backwards passes. Just throwing balls behind receivers. He wasn't really playing well. Fourth quarter came around. It's 8 minutes left on the clock. Mahomes is running for his life in the backfield for what felt like most of the game because Bosa was getting a lot of pressure. It was a really big game from Eric Armstead. A lot of these dudes really played well. Fred Warner had a great game for San Francisco, but just started to feel San Francisco get tired at around that 8-minute mark, which was right where Mahomes started his nice little comeback. So the Chiefs were down 20-10, slowly chipped down the field, threw a little pass at Damian Williams, somehow got in the end zone. I don't know how. That was a really close call, but they gave it to him. 2017. Garoppolo gets the ball back, and the Chiefs D-line is just blowing everything up, just completely blowing everything up. Garoppolo misses a couple guys by a few feet, and Chiefs get the ball back and just go back and score another touchdown. And then Garoppolo gets the ball back. Rinse and repeat. Turnover. Chiefs score. Game is out of reach in what felt like that. It was a strange, quick comeback, but it was really impressive, I got to say. As I said, Pat Mahomes won the Super Bowl MVP. Put up, I think it was something near 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. I think overall he played somewhat poorly as a passer, but his legs were really the biggest part of them getting such a leg up on the Niners. I think they ran a lot more on the ground from Mahomes than I expected them to, but it really ended up working at the end. And later on, that throw to Tyreek Hill where he found him, there wasn't guys 10 yards within him, and just busted open. So shout out Mahomes, man. He's living his best life. I want to be in a Jackson Mahomes TikTok. My biggest problem with this entire game, because yes, the Chiefs have been great from behind all year long. They deserve to win the game. But it felt like the Niners really dominated the entire game, and they gave up almost in the fourth quarter. They kind of laid down. They took their foot off the gas, was really the analogy I wanted to go for. They just, I don't know what happened. They just gassed themselves out completely, and I don't know if this is a Kyle Shanahan thing or not, because Super Bowl, whatever it was, where he blew that huge lead as the Falcons offensive coordinator, and now he's here, and he had an easy lead where the Niners were really kind of on top of the entire game, and then it just quickly got out of control and allowed the Chiefs to put up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. It was just a very weird thing. That's a bug that Shanahan's got to shake. You can't put your foot on the brakes with 5 minutes left and the Chiefs are still in the game. You know what I mean? Like I know they tried to let Garoppolo air it out a little bit, but the offensive line kind of folded, and Chris Jones and Frank Clark had insane impacts on the game. A lot of QB hits, forcing Garoppolo to make certain throws he didn't want to make. It was really just a tricky situation, and I wonder if he's going to recover from that, because that division, that NFC is really stacked up, and the Niners obviously stand a chance. They could be back here again next year, but you're going to have the Saints back. I don't know what they're going to look like. Seattle's going to be strong, maybe if the Rams make a jump. and the Cowboys with a new coach, you know, it's going to be tough for them to get back. But they have a lot of young guys that are locked up for a couple more years on cheaper contracts. And I'd like to see them go after a different cornerback because the lead cornerback they had got his ass toasted. I don't know why. I was just thinking about it this morning. I'm not a Sherman hater, really. I'm not, but it's worth noting the fact that him and Revis got in that big Twitter beef and saying, "Oh, Revis can't cover anybody. Revis is too slow. Oh, yeah, your ninth year look different than this." I know it wasn't all on him, but Tyreek Hill putting up 9 for 107 and then watching Sammy Watkins burn you from the line, it tells a different story, bro. I think that was a huge problem, and it was something that the Chiefs didn't really take advantage of. They didn't take the top off the defense the way they have all year long. They really kind of played it safe with a lot of their play calling, and Mahomes was scatter-armed for a lot of the game. But, I mean, you easily could have done that. There's times where you bring like a trips formation over to Sherman's side, and you got Watkins, and you got Hill, and you got Kelsey, and he's got to guard one of them. And that guy ended up shaking open most of the time. I mean, even I knew from one of the first plays of the game, Tyreek had it, juked him out. I'll show it on the screen. Tyreek had it, juked him out, and my whole viewing party went nuts. It was like, oh, Sherman, oh yeah, he can't tackle him. No, nobody can tackle Tyreek Hill. It's interesting to see where the Niners go from here because clearly they don't have a second corner that can take Sherman's place and be that lockdown because Sherman was not that. And they had to rely on Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tartt, who had a really good game, by the way. I want to shout him out, too. But they need another cornerback over there, and Sherman shouldn't continue to get really big money when his contract is up next. I don't know when it is, but I don't know if you can pay him like a top dude anymore because he got roasted and toasted in front of the whole world. I was real happy to see Andy Reid get one. Just so many collapses. It's good to see somebody get one, watch a Big Show get a WrestleMania win finally. It kind of felt like that. Let Andy Reid get his little moment in the sun. I think he coached. He called the plays beautifully in the last 8 minutes of the game, which is very different from him because he doesn't know how to manage the clock. He doesn't know how to manage play calls late in the game. And it had always been a problem in really big situations for Andy Reid. And I was really happy to see him get one. So I hope he enjoyed his cheeseburger. I hope he enjoyed his wife. And he said he listened to Pitbull, so I really, really hope he enjoyed Pitbull. I really do. Speaking of Pitbull, where the fuck was Pitbull? How are you going to have a whole Latin tribute? Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, Her Hips Didn't Lie, Bad Bunny, J Balvin. Where the hell is Pitbull? It's only logical. Where is Pitbull? The worldwide president needed to be there. It was in Florida. Dale. Like, come on, dude. It was nuts. But that being said, the halftime show was good. My father was in his feelings, to say the least. It was cool to see Bad Bunny. I didn't expect to see Bad Bunny, but it was nice to see him. J-Lo's 50, and she was going crazy, and I can't do that. I'm almost 20, and I'm not doing that. I don't look that good. In these kind of games, it's kind of easy to judge a quarterback and say, oh, you choked it, you did this, you did that. But I don't know if I can blame Jimmy Garoppolo for that loss. I thought he played well. I thought he missed a couple passes late down in the stretch, and that was him getting nervous because, once again, the biggest thing you needed to do in that game was put the ball in his hands, and the Chiefs D-line just started turning up late in the game. Like I said, Chris Jones is just a force inside. And that San Fran O-line, which has been so great all year long, just got tired and started to fold late in the game. And I thought that was really interesting to see. And you put the pressure on Garoppolo, and he didn't necessarily play bad, but he had dudes in his face pretty much the last 3 drives. And throughout the whole game, he threw the ball really well. And I thought Shanahan had a really good game plan of getting Deebo Samuel involved as well. So once Garoppolo started looking his way, looks started coming open for Kittle. And then you could run the ball a little more freely. It had an open playbook, and I think that was the right way to counter it. If they didn't let up in the fourth quarter, Niners would have won. Plain and simple. But overall, I don't think Garoppolo played a bad game. I think there's definitely things he can improve on. I think his accuracy was a little off in touches. It could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. I'm gonna give Garoppolo a B minus. Give him a B minus just because he lost. If he had won, I'd probably give him a B plus, maybe an A minus, because he managed the game very well. He made throws he needed to make up until the end of the game, and he didn't make the throws he needed to make. Last but not least, I'm gonna think about the Super Bowl commercials. I'm not. The Super Bowl commercials kind of been trash for a minute, but I gotta say, they kind of turned up this year. They kind of turned up. I gotta give it to them. Baby Nut, Baby Nut, welcome to the world, Baby Nut. Yo, shout out Kool-Aid Man. Somebody said that. Shout out Kool-Aid Man for planting that little seed. You know, I appreciate him. He does good things. There was the weird commercial where it was like everybody from like the cleaning, like all the cleaning people. It was like the Bounty, Old Spice guy, the Charmin bear. They were all just cooling. That was a little weird. Everybody liked the Lil Nas X Dorito commercial. I mean, I don't know. It didn't really do anything for me. The dude had a cool mustache, little worm though. I like that. I rock with that. The Bill Murray commercial, the Groundhog Day one, that one went crazy. That one going crazy. I like seeing Bill Murray. I love seeing Bill Murray, and that was a funny little thing. He's stealing the groundhog every day. That was nice. Oh, the random commercial with Jennifer Lopez tracking someone down. She thought it was Alex Rodriguez, and then they were like, "Yeah, think of the most like random celebrity you can right now." You know, someone would be like, "Oh, DJ Khaled," and then boom, he's right underneath the mask. It was the most. It was weird. It didn't really make sense. I don't even know what I give this Super Bowl because the game was kind of trash for a lot of it. Some of the commercials were trash. Halftime show was going crazy though. I gotta give it to him. Shout out my father. A 7.5. I think that's a fair rating. I think it's a generous rating actually, given how kind of boring the game was at spots. But yeah, congrats to the Chiefs. Congrats to Mahomes. Better luck next year, Niners. I'm really sorry that Nick Bosa never got to meet Trump. I hope you can figure it out somehow, man.